extensive experience in life coaching. She has been working so much, and I've seen her work personally. It's amazing experience with her. And she's also a telepathic animal communicator and very much into art-based therapies. There's so much to tell about Shilpaa Chogle, a person I've known so much, and she has a huge fan base. Shilpaa, thank you for making time today.
Thank you, Seema, for inviting me for this podcast.
Yeah, so I've been observing your work for a very long time. I would love to cover many topics. I know she is into the law of the universe. She has done so many workshops on karma, on angels, angel communication. And life coaching is an area which I've seen you work, literally handholding your clients. The amount of work you've done, the testimonials are endless. So today, friends, what is very important is everyone has this curiosity about, animals. And Shilpaa, can you just throw some light actually what is telepathic animal communication all about?
Yes, definitely. So let's look at the word telepathic, so we're talking about telepathic animal communication or telepathic nature communication. So the word telepathy comes from a Greek word which means tele and pathy, alright, or pathos. So tele is from far, from distance. So when you are communicating from a distance, pathos is with the help of your feeling or perception. So where it is a mind-to-mind communication. So when we are talking with each other, it is a communication and we are using our speech, our sense of speaking and a sense of seeing, so all of these. So when you are using telepathy, telepathy is a muscle, telepathy is an ability which every human being has or every being has, and that's why the animals also receive the communication which is sent by us when from a human to an animal or a human to any pet when I do telepathic communication consults, and I receive the answers also telepathically. So when I am asking a question or I am talking to you, I am doing it from using my mind, and similarly you are also answering me. So it's a kind of a distance communication using, and where you use all your senses. So there are times for me, I see images, I feel it in my body.
I was about to ask you, is it a language? Like you said, images are there, but like how we have so many languages. Normally when somebody's instructing, or trying to communicate with a pet, they are used to a certain home language.
Right.
But how does telepathy work? What kind of language?
So basically, animals talk to you in the language you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you have a pet and you're speaking Kannada at home, and if I have to do a telepathic animal communication with your pet, your pet is able to understand what I talk in English or what I talk in Marathi. So basically, they are so much more evolved where they can talk to any one of us based on our levels, our abilities, that's how it is. So when I talk to the animal, let's say in English, largely because I do consults in English, but if it is like there are times I also speak in Marathi, I receive because that is what I understand. So the animals, channel the communication through what I am capable of receiving. So they know it that who is capable of what, and accordingly they speak to you, and also accordingly that is the level of information one receives. The receiver
they
is
are more spiritually evolved than
definitely.
The way you're saying
Definitely.
it, you understand us better.
Most definitely.
Okay. So what kind of animals have you worked with? Is it just domesticated or have you done?
So largely my clients are where there are pets, alright. So I've worked with dogs and cats largely, alright. I have also communicated with birds. I have communicated in the wild. So when I've been to Sri Lanka, I communicated with an elephant.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
so there are these other, wild animals. So when we go out, for trips and stuff. So that is also what I have done. But yeah, once you know telepathic communication, you can communicate with anybody. You can communicate with trees, plants, all kinds of animals, as well as land. You can
So you're talking nature in general.
Yes.
Wow. That's all. And you said elephant. I'm interested to know what would an elephant
lots. They have a lot of messages for the humans. So there you can communicate with a whale, you can communicate, I mean you can communicate, I've communicated with fish.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Wow.
yeah, and of course I missed the first communication I ever had was with the tortoise. So yeah, so you can communicate with tortoise and all animals.
So I want you to like share some experiences, any case study where we can understand what do animals really want to tell us.
Oh, they have lots to speak, and primarily when there are pets, they are observing you, they're seeing you with all kinds of things that we do, all kinds of behaviors which everybody shows themselves in, like emotions that we are expressing. So I have received a lot of communication in terms of humans not taking good care of themselves, humans not having breakfast on time, humans not working on their anger, humans not letting go of things and holding a lot of things.
They are able to sense.
Yes, yes.
And they are communicating about the human entire schedule.
Yeah, I have dogs who have given me like in the entire family who does what, how do they behave, and what happens because of their behavior, what is the impact.
So I think a client would generally come to you if they notice a change in their pet's behavior.
Yeah, so
And then,
typically because for us humans what we look at is the outer, the physical. So if they are unwell physically or if they are behaving very differently, if they are suddenly very low on energy. So these are things. So because we are not looking at their mind, we are not looking at their emotions. Generally people approach me because they see some change in the behavior or the way they are functioning. So that's why they approach.
I am a little curious about one thing is, do you only communicate with those animals which are there, or are you able to communicate ones who have passed over?
Yes, so once you have telepathic, you have the telepathic ability, once you use it, you can also, because it is a communication, so even if they are passed over, but the souls, so we are communicating with the souls, it like continues, right?
Okay, so it's both ways.
Yeah.
Is there a difference, like how when you're doing the communication, or is it the same?
There is no difference in the communication.
Okay.
No difference. So just that they have passed over, they are in the afterlife, and you still communicate. In the same way, I also communicate with human souls, which is called as mediumship, like being a medium to the human souls. Yeah.
But what is more approachable? Is it human telepathy or is it animal communication?
I'll talk about me in person. I have felt human telepathy, especially if the human is alive, is a little complicated for me or a little challenging for me in person. But animals, 99.99 times it is just smooth and it is wonderful to communicate with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does an animal able to say that it's in case it's going through some pain? How do they communicate that to the humans that are taking care of them?
Unless the humans have gone for a checkup where they get to know that there is something happening internally, or the human is seeing some difference in the way they are walking or sitting or not eating enough food, or a playful animal has become suddenly quiet, then the human just feels. But while I am doing the communication, they tell me that okay, this is where internally I am feeling the pain, or I am at discomfort. So they do show me the parts, because like I said, each telepathic animal communicator receives the information based on their abilities to receive messages. So I largely see images or words and I feel it in my body. So then if it is like, let's say the right hind leg, I feel it behind and I can feel it. So for me, like both these hands are like their front two limbs and my legs are their back. So accordingly, like I have received messages where my right hand is paining. Okay. So then I ask that, is there an issue there. Do you see the animal in discomfort or whatever? So that's when they have told that, oh yes, this has happened.
That's interesting.
Yes.
But where did all this begin for you, Shilpaa? When did you realize you are able to communicate?
So like you just mentioned, I do a lot of teacher trainings and I do a lot of workshops for humans. Long time back I used to do workshops for communication skills. So while I was working or researching on that topic, I happened to see a YouTube video of Anna Brettenbach, who was communicating with a Black Panther, and she was doing it telepathically, alright, and the information she gave really helped the sanctuary people to, give him things the way he wanted to respect him, to give him that dignity, and things changed. The ferocious animal just became very gentle, alright. Because the communication was received well and the humans acted upon it, alright. That really touched me, and I said that if this can be done, I also want to, learn this. And secondly, I used to because largely I was doing trainings with teachers, I've been telling teachers that if an animal is expecting kindness and respect from you as a human, I think as teachers, the little children you are with also expecting the same thing.
Yeah, the kids are taken for granted sometimes.
Yeah. So that is what I took. But then my search began, and I found the bestest teacher in this world for me. And she's Manjiri Latte, from whom I have learned telepathic animal communication. And again, the universe conspired and whatever. So I'm a manifestation coach as well, and I think this is the best thing I've manifested for myself. Like she came into my life, and I learned from her. So this was, I think, about 7-8 years back. And the first time, I would really like to share the story. The first time this happened and it worked. So I learned, and it was my first day, and I came home little late after that workshop, and I have a tortoise, and he usually is not awake at that time. And I saw him awake and walking in my balcony, and I was wondering why is he awake. So I asked my daughter that why is he awake. So she said, I don't know. So I said, okay, open the shutters and the sliding windows, and she opened and he walked in, and I was just sitting down cross-legged, and he straight came to me and on my lap. So I said, I've just learned something, so let me talk to him, alright, let me speak with him. And I asked him, why are you awake at this time? How was your day? He said, okay. So I said, why you say, okay? He said, because I'm hungry. I said, why? Haven't you got any food? So he said, no. So I looked at my daughter and said, haven't you given him food? So she literally fell off the chair and she said, oh shit, I forgot. And she ran. I said, okay, just get some coriander. And then he ate, and in like 5 minutes he went off to sleep. That was my first telepathic communication, and yeah, that's where it began.
So I have a question that, when you're talking about how you started your journey here, you said you learned the skill, but since you were already doing a lot of life coaching, I've seen how intuitive you are.
Yeah.
So do you feel a person can learn this as a skill and do this? Like anybody can learn how to communicate?
Yes, I do teach telepathic animal communication. Okay. So I have like a 2 days residential retreat where we'll stay together, and we do a lot of practice of telepathic communication.
Okay.
There, of course, first it is initially human to human, alright, and then by the end of the second day, you are like, I will be communicating with your animal and you will be communicating with my animal, and there are a lot of other examples and tests that we will be going through, which will give you a validation that you are communicating with the right animal. Because like if you are speaking to my tortoise and whatever he says, I am the one who will validate that, oh yes, this is how it is in my house or whatever. So then
that way you know whether you
will get a validation that what you are doing is the right thing. Yeah. So in these 2 days, I prepare you and you start communicating already. So by the time you leave, you have already communicated with animals and We already have a few case studies with the wild animals also, so we have the information. So when you are communicating with that wild animal and you get that information, I'm going to validate that yes, this is right, and what the elephant told you is right, because this has happened with the elephant.
This take time, like you said, within 2 days. Generally, the workshop that you do.
Yeah.
The person gets clarity if they are actually communicating, because I'm sure a lot of people have this question, like, our mind plays games. So we think, are we really communicating, or is this our imagination? I'm sure you've had clients asking you.
The self-doubt is usually there in like when you begin, and it's a process of working on yourself as a communicator, as well as dealing with the humans who want to do the communication with their animal. But when you get communication which is specific to what you know, and when I'm doing it, and when I tell you that this is what the animal is telling about you, this is what, then there is just no choice but to believe, because there is proof. Like I wouldn't know what is happening in your house.
Exactly.
When I talk to your pet is telling me that. So, or because all the communications which I do it on a voice call.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't even see people, or I don't even see the animal.
Oh,
Right.
that's interesting. I thought, at least video or something.
No, I personally don't do it.
Okay.
Because I prefer not sitting with anybody, so that it's not like a distraction, or it doesn't cloud me when I'm watching things. That's my way of doing
So
it.
on a call also you are able to easily connect with them.
Very easily. That is the best way for me. So I just do it on a voice call. You can keep everybody on a speaker. If there are like 5 family members, all of you can be on a speaker. Yeah, and then whatever information I'm receiving, because animals describe, this is how our dining table is, this is our window is, this is where I sit, this is where. So when I start this,
they have a lot to say then.
Yes, so when there are cats, the cats show me how I sit above on the wardrobe, and how there is this, and now it's difficult for me because this cat was a little old one, so it's difficult for me to climb. So can I have like a basket or something kept down? All kinds of communication. So when I tell you things which you are validating, then you believe, right? Yeah.
So is there a karmic relationship between the human and this animal, like for them to come into their...
Very often it is.
Yeah.
Very often it is. So again, we as humans are, I will just put it into bracket, arrogant enough to believe that we are bringing the animals home, whereas that's not the case. The animals make a choice of coming in our life because they have a role to play, and there are lessons.
So it's not like we are taking care of them, they are actually taking care of us.
They are the ones who choose us. They are the ones, because there are lessons, so they come to that person so that they have a purpose with us.
So is it true that animals are able to see spirits, communicate with spirits?
Yes, very often, because they have something called as that ESP, which is the extrasensory perception. And I think even humans, if you work on your abilities, you will be able to, it is again a sense of sight, right? Seeing when you're talking about. So we have sight, but that is extrasensory. So, so they do have.
So theirs is a bit stronger than in that sense than humans.
Yes. But then there are humans also who can see a lot
yeah.
of spirits and souls, right? So that's how
I
it
think
is.
the way it develops, it depends on that.
How much as much this channel is more clearer and cleansed, that is the kind of refined information this channel will receive. So my teacher always says that be like a hollow bamboo. Okay, so whatever comes from here as an information from the animal world, like the plant kingdom, or just pass it exactly the way it is, not adding your masala or your additions to it. So then when you are a clear channel, as much you keep working on yourself to move yourself out of that communication. There are so many times our ego comes in between, that this has to come right. If this doesn't come right, what are they going to think about me? Or or this has to really go great so that everybody knows how amazing a telepathic animal communicator I am. When you just get all of these thoughts away and you stand there in neutrality and the information comes, you are able to receive it fully and you transfer it to whoever the human is, absolutely without any colors added to it.
You have explained this very beautifully. I love the way you put that, being in neutrality.
Yeah.
Sounds really good.
Yeah.
I want to also, I was curious, like you have had many experiences, some that you shared with me. I was like, wow, this is mind blowing. Any such experience that always stayed with you? You have worked with many, such communication,
Yeah.
right? But one that had a huge impact on you.
More than impact, when you talk about impact, a lot of communications where the animals were closer to death, and so the way they've been at ease with death, they've been so comfortable and accepting and ready for death. Okay.
Do they know that they're going to die?
With me, this has happened that there have been communications where the animal has told me that I will wait for 2 days for her to come and ask her to reach, and I will then leave. Or there have been times an animal has told me that, like, the animal is really very sick and the humans think this animal is going to die now. So, but the animal said that there's still time, and so it's like a month, and the animal is in that state.
Like they know.
So
Exactly.
what I feel is they definitely know. But in the communication, there have been 2-3 communications where they've given me an exact date and they have moved on that date.
This is amazing. I mean, we humans don't have an idea about what day or time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking gender.
Yeah. So these are ones which have been like very impactful because there have been some very powerful insights which have come with respect to death. Okay, because for us it just shakes us up. This topic, like anybody, it's not like easy and fun to discuss death, right? But with animals, it's just a part of this life. We look at life and death separately.
Yeah.
For them, this is just
a
one
process
thing.
of,
yeah.
okay.
So it is
It's
like
just continuing. Like it's not something for us to different
yes,
parts.
it is continuous. So like like if you are on a bicycle now and you decide to leave from here, there's going to be a point till which I'm going to see you. Okay, then you take a turn and I can't see you. So for me, you're not there, but you still continue on the bicycle and you go ahead in life.
Lovely
Right.
examples, seriously.
And you're still there,
Yeah.
right? So that's how it is. So death is that turn for us,
Yeah.
and you're still there. So,
Yeah.
but that is the ease with which they
Yeah.
accept
Look at it,
things.
yeah.
Yeah. So they continue, and there
But
are
they know
times.
that humans are the one who are going to be crying over it. So they're waiting. Isko bhi aane do. Let this one come and then,
Yeah, but there is this one which is really amusing. There is this one dog. The family takes a consult almost once in a 6 months, and she literally every communication I keep wondering that okay, what is she going to tell me this time?
Yeah.
Because I know so much about them. I know so much about the family, but every time she has new information to share. So there is this time. Their house is renovated, so they were staying in another house for 6 months, and they came back to their original house. This girl, the dog has literally taken me to every room and showed me the details, and I was asking the family, oh, in this room are the wardrobe shutters like this, in this room is the light like this, in this room. And they said, yes, is she showing you our house? I said, yes, she's showing me your house. And she literally, now it's her new house. On the phone call.
Oh, wow.
And she's like if you come to my house, and I'll be excited to show you my house and every room of my house if it is renovated.
And you're able to
That's
see
the
that.
enthusiasm with which she was taking me to every room and showing me. So, or there have been times when she's told me she doesn't like a particular vet and she likes the other vet. Or she has told me how she likes this one grooming space where her mother takes her for the spa and grooming, and she doesn't like the other, or she likes it because there is a particular design or a color over there that makes her feel happy. So it's really amusing how they also have
Actually,
choices.
the way you explain, is there a lack of human normal communication, not telepathy? I think the way you're saying, you were thinking, what does she have now? She will share with me, I know everything. But the fact that she was showing every room doesn't mean like we humans actually don't know how to talk to them.
Yeah,
Right? Even
because
in
we just
normal
assume
sense.
this is my cat, this is my dog, this is my parrot, this is my, and I know their life. What do I mean, there is nothing I don't know. So that's what we are the arrogant lot. We are. They don't seek attention.
No.
We just don't know them. We've not. So they are like, I'm talking to you, okay, and you are talking to me. So I'm listening, right?
Yeah.
But now when that is in with the animal, like the animal is talking to you, let's say telepathically, right? Because otherwise they'll be barking or mewing. So you wouldn't understand that.
Yes.
Of course, there are pet parents who understand. Okay, he needs this toy and he wants this, and he's. But there is more than that which the animal is talking to you. And that is not received by the human because you're not listening.
So if our listening skills develop, even we will be able to really hear what they want to show us.
Absolutely. That's why I'm saying everybody can do telepathic communication. Everybody can learn. It is a muscle. So basically, how you go to the gym and you work consistently to build muscles.
Yeah, you train.
Similarly, like if you keep practicing, if you keep doing telepathic communication regularly, so then you are going to get into that space of just talking like the way you and I are talking.
I never thought so much about animals seriously. We just think, okay, come here, eat, sit, stand. That's what we saw.
Those are the only things, those commands. But they have so much to share beyond that. Like there have been dogs who have shared that the father figure in the house is really working too hard and he's not resting. He's traveling all the time. He doesn't spend time with me. Or there has been this very beautiful communication where a baby came into the house, and after the baby came, the father was only focused on the baby, and the father kind of ignored the dog. And what happened was the dog started ignoring the baby. So the mother approached me because she said, I was hoping that when my baby comes, my dog and the baby are going to have the best bond. But I am so disappointed because every time my baby crawls toward, he's a toddler, so he walks towards the dog just walks away. So what's happening? So when I spoke with the dog, he said, but that's what he does to me. I wait for him, but he doesn't look at me and he just goes away. So it was just showing that this is how I feel.
Was it jealousy or was it just disappointment?
It was disappointment. He just wanted to be with the, So then she said, I had noticed this and I was thinking that first I will, keep the baby inside so that he comes and he plays with the dog, gives him those 2 minutes and then comes to the baby and then he gets time, So she said, I'll make those changes. Or he said that earlier, 3 of us, like both of them sat at the breakfast table and he would sit there and he would also eat. He said now they just don't sit at the table and eat and they just give away, I give my food and so he was feeling ignored. So
it's more of disappointment. Unlike in humans we talk more from a jealousy point of view.
Yeah, no, not jealous.
So animals don't I think feel jealousy, is it? Or they feel it?
They do feel it,
Yeah.
but I have not experienced too many
Such.
examples of jealousy. It could be like on a, this is my mama or this is that kind is, but not like the jealousy humans have for others, like somebody who's growing, somebody who's doing better, to feel that envy or jealousy. I have not experienced any such, at least I have not.
I have heard a lot, from people that just before somebody's death in the family, dogs are able to sense that before a human member is affected. it could be a dog or a cat. Generally, I've heard dogs are able to sense this.
Yeah.
So they know in another 3 days' time, and they become pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I've heard people in family share their experiences. Yeah, I think this one knew something is about to happen.
Yeah.
So is that true that they?
Yes, I have heard from my fellow communicators or stories about the dog knowing, or I know of a case where a murder had happened. Okay, and there were some 3-4 dogs, and a lot of communicators were communicating with the dogs to know what was what had happened and who did it. But again, they do not give you such information. Unless it is because we are looking at somebody who has done the murder or killed as a villain, as a negative person or whatever. So from our perspective, he's bad. But for them, we're all equal. So they wouldn't do things to jeopardize somebody else's life, or so they wouldn't give information of exactly.
Also, if they sense something, so you have not had an experience there where they share such information.
Yeah, but they do sense the death, and they do sense negativity in the house. They do sense all these things.
Because sometimes people say dog was barking in one particular spot.
Yeah. Because they have that ESP, extrasensory perception. So
yes.
They do sense.
I also remember one beautiful experience you had shared, where you were doing this communication, and the dog was actually being protected by the guru that they were following. Yeah. I think, if I'm not wrong, it was Shukrana Guru.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you
So I wasn't aware that he is a guru and he has dropped his body, I think, long time back, many years back. But this dog is the same dog who was very sick. The humans wanted to travel out of the country, and so they said, do we leave or no, and do we cancel our trip because he's so sick and this can happen anytime and we want to be around him. And he said, I'm not going so soon. And I saw a man with him, and he said he's there, he's looking after me. So I described the man. So when I described the man, the lady, she said that this is our guru, and so she sent me a picture of him, and she said, is this the man? And I said, yes, this is the man. This is the man I have seen in my vision. And she said, but he is not he's not here in physical body. I said, yeah, but he's there with him and he's looking after him.
I love that when you first told me about it. It always stayed in my mind. Some of your experiences are really awesome.
And in fact, in their house, whenever this satsang happens, so this dog which I was talking to you about, every 6 months, who does the communication, they are neighbors. And literally every time his satsang happens there, this dog is sitting near the picture and listening to all the bhajans for a whole day, and not doing any masti, just being
That's
very,
really giving full attention there.
Yeah, I think that, they understand the importance of these things is what I saw. At least this dog did understand.
I didn't expect, the way we are going with this discussion, I didn't expect so much of information, really. It's the more you're talking, it's becoming more interesting.
I'm glad.
I never had a pet, and I've had a fear, of having a pet as such.
Yeah.
But now when I'm listening to you, it's more about how approachable we can be.
So I will also share that I used to be scared of dogs, really scared of dogs. Wherever I went, I used to tell that please tie the dog, and and when I started a telepathic communication, so again, because when you're communicating, you don't need to really see them in person. So, then that was one thing. But as I kept doing it, my fear just vanished. I really don't know where it went. And it just, and I just love, my friends, my dearest friend has 2 dogs, and I just love spending time with them. I just do really love
I
them.
can see, I mean, it's amazing that you're saying you had fear of dogs some point in time.
Or even cats.
Yeah.
I wasn't comfortable, and then another friend had a cat, and I didn't really pick him up or whatever, but he used to sit, and I had a very beautiful communication with him also when he was very close to moving ahead, you know, and it was wonderful. So yeah, I will maybe credit it to the telepathic animal communication ability to that I've become friends with animals. Or I am super scared of lizards,
Really?
and I have worked on the
I
fear.
was coming to that. I was about to come because
But then I have communicated with the lizard and requested her to leave the house. Okay. Okay. And sometimes there have been times when they have heard and they have followed the path I've shown, and sometimes they haven't. Yeah. So I.
stray.
Yeah, because it's not just because I'm communicating doesn't mean you're going to listen. Isn't it so? We tell so many things to our children.
They don't
Do
listen.
they don't follow everything
Yeah, true.
which you are asking them to do. So it's not like an order or a command that you do this.
You can only request.
You can request, and it's okay if they don't follow your request.
Actually, that's what I was going to come to. I was interested, a lot of people are scared of insects, cockroaches, and all those bugs.
Yeah.
So, well, how does that? Is it the same way of communicating with them?
It is the
They're
same.
same.
Yeah, there's no change in
Can you tell the
communication.
cockroach, please leave my kitchen?
You can tell them.
Again, listen or
Whether
not.
they will listen or no might depend on your communication. So I've then started changing my ways, and I say that, look, you know what, I am scared of you. I am not comfortable. I am also scared that because of my fear, I might end up killing you.
Yes.
Because I am so scared that I don't want to see a lizard in my house. I call somebody or whatever, and so my request is that I really want you to live, so if you can go out, So it all depends how the communication flows and whether they listen.
But that's a very nice thought. And the way you put it just now, that request them to leave so that you out of your fear don't, react.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lovely. What a conversation this is not. It's getting more and more interesting.
I'm glad.
I want to know, what have you noticed as the biggest myth about, animal telepathy, overall the whole communication process? You must have met many people who come with all kind of, questions.
One myth or no, but there is a belief system where people think that the animal is not behaving as per what I want, and I want you to communicate and tell the animal to behave well, and so the expectation is the animal will change the behavior because a telepathic animal communicator is talking. Well, it doesn't work that way. It's not that you take communication consult to know your animal better, to listen what the animal has to say to you. They have really given such beautiful insights to the families. There has been a time when an animal and the soul of the father of this girl who had booked the communication were doing the communication together. So the soul of the father was also, through the animal guiding.
Through that.
And he was telling me that please tell her to behave well, to bridge the gap between she and her mother. And because she had a very good bond with the father but not with the mother, she had issues over there. So the animal also was, he was like the channel for that communication to happen.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so if she wouldn't have accepted or been open to the fact that yes, this is happening and I will work on this, while there is a lot of distance between my mother and me, I understand this is where I need to work upon, and she changed that. But then there are humans who do not take the communication in an appropriate manner, which needs to be done, and then the consequences are for them to face. There's
Like
nothing
you
I
said,
can do as a communicator.
Because you come with that, like you said, an instructive, more of that.
Because
thought
if
process.
the thought is that you are going to do the communication with this animal to just let him know that this is what I want and you follow my orders, you do it, then it is not happening.
I get it.
It is not working that way.
Wow, this is so amazing, Shilpaa. And if it wasn't for constraint and time, I would love to go on and on about this.
Sure.
I still have many more questions.
Yeah.
So I think we will cover that next time.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I think at least before we wrap up, I observed that you were saying more of humans. I've heard people, address more as pet parents. So anything specific that you want to give a message?
Yeah, because this is our need as humans to have relations. Humans are social animals, so we understand everything from we have to label the relationship, right?
As parent.
Yeah, parent, friend, daughter, वगैरह वगैरह. So when the animal comes in, also immediately he's my son, he's my daughter, he's my brother. That for them. It doesn't matter, you can be you and they are still there, they have chosen you and your family. So hence, I refer to the animal and the human, that's what it is. It is not the mother and the daughter or the pet parent and the pet child, no, it's just the human and the animal.
Lovely. And so I'm sure all of you all want to know much more. You want to understand your pets better. There are so many retreats happening. You can check the description to know more about this. And Shilpaa, I really have like another maybe 20-25 questions because this is running. The more you talk about things, the more I realize, oh, I never thought about this. Something new is coming up. Yeah. So please do give us time again.
Definitely, I would love to.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And everyone, see you all soon with much more exciting information coming to you. Thank you.